Hello and welcome to another episode of TRU Talks. It's the second episode. Last time we had Nikki Cal on. Now we've got Sarah Beckett, England forward. How are things?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just been in camp. Had 2 really competitive games. Just scraped through last week, didn't we? But yeah, all focused on Italy this week and looking forward to getting out there.
Yeah, and how were those first 2 games? Because obviously the first one was out in Claremont, and that's kind of a unique thing in rugby generally.
It was amazing. The stadium was mostly packed out. I think there was like 13,500 people there or something. And to play in front of that atmosphere, I mean, the French fans, I don't know, have you been out to France and been like, they're vocal, they're very on top of you in Clermont as well. So it was a unique experience, and it was one that I'll never forget. It was amazing. And
a week later, it was last gasp stuff from the Red Roses.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when when the try was scored?
I was going mental on bench. I was up and down. Me and Zoe Oldcroft just turned to each other and just hugged each other like, oh my god, I can't believe that's just happened. I think we were part of the crowd at that point, like this. But yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, and it was the second game at Sandy Park this year. Obviously, the first one against Italy with the opponents this weekend. Yeah. Was it a similar atmosphere to the one that you experienced early in the year, or was it even better maybe? Yeah, no, whenever we go to Sandy Park, it's great. We've been there twice, as you say, and I think we had 10,500 in Six Nations, and we had near 10 this time as well. So it's incredible to see that continued support, and that people want to come and see us, and hopefully when people get to come and see us, when we go around the country, like we're in Bedford this weekend, people will want to come to other games. I think giving people the chance to see the games and see what we're about really helps grow our profiles as a team and help people see what's out there. Yeah,
now Bedford, Golden Road, of course, championship ground.
Yeah.
Has Charlie given you any tips about playing on the slope at Golden Road?
I haven't had any tips from him. He's not invested that much lately, but I mean, we've talked about it as a team, and we're well aware of the challenges and how we can be exploited or exploit the opposition, and how that's going to look in terms of our game plan and their game plan, and trying to counteract that. So it's going to be interesting to have to deal with that, but it's just another challenge that is good to be thrown at us, and see how we work around things and problem solve things on pitch. So it'll be good.
Great. And myself and Chris, who's behind the camera.
Hello, Chris.
Hard working as ever, Chris, behind the camera on his phone. I'm not going to suggest what app he might be on. And essentially, we went before that, and we know the reason why games are held in Bedford. It's because it's got the largest populations of Italians in the UK.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason it's here. So there might even be some Italian supporters knocking around.
I mean, that'd be great. I think whenever you travel somewhere, it's great when you see. So when we went to France, when there's English supporters there, it really makes you feel special. Like they've made the effort to come over, or whether they're in France, they've made the effort to travel to where we're playing and really get behind the team. So it's great to see people who you recognise, and I hope there's some Italian supporters there for Italy, and I think it'd make a better atmosphere. You know, rugby's, it's not like football, not segregated, all in together. I think it'll be good for the crowd as well. So.
Yeah, of course. And when we last spoke, which was the podcast in the summer,
it
was before your move to Quins was announced.
Yeah.
How have you found settling at the Stoop?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. There's more people around me. I'm really enjoying the setup, and I'm just having a great time. Like, I'm enjoying rugby. I was enjoying it anyway, but enjoying rugby, enjoying having more people around. Made more friends. There's more people, and obviously, I mean, it helps when we get a win at the weekend, but it comes with its own challenges, and it comes with different challenges. I think it's good to get a rounded experience. So at Waterloo, it was more challenging on the pitch and having to do things myself a bit more, and off the pitch and on the pitch, finding a way to stay in the game or win. And now it's about actually, when we are winning or when we're coming up against tougher oppositions, how we cope with that as a team, because obviously if you're used to winning a bit more every weekend, when you come up against it, you need those people to stand up and say, no, it's okay, it's what we need to do, and calm down. So I think that's helpful for me, just maturing as a rugby player as well, to see those 2 different sides of how you play the game.
Yeah, right. Now, Chris and Sarah, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Chris is going to move here to talk about Liverpool.
Come on, Chris.
Go.
1 minute to talk about it.
So, what's your reaction to Salah and Robertson maybe being out for this weekend?
I think Robbo was a bigger miss.
I do too.
I think
Origi will slot in, not a problem. I think Robertson down the left-hand side. Are we going to put Milner there?
I think Milner will do it. Away at Crystal Palace is always tough, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? I said this. Me and Rick, the physio, have a chat about this. He's a Burnley fan. And we're talking about who's been involved. Yeah. I mean, he's been through some tough times, I'm not going to lie. We've had a couple of chats about it. But no, I think hopefully we'll be all right.
And just one final question: are we ever going to lose a football match then?
Oh, Chris, you've done it. Chris, you've done it.
I keep saying, oh yeah, not going to happen. Not going to happen, is it? I
Made
think
me nervous already.
Charlie will
My
back
palms
me
are sweating, Chris.
up. Charlie will back me up.
Charlie's optimistic, that's why. I'm a realist.
Oh, damn. I've jinxed it.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah.
It's Crystal
We've got a good record there, though.
I know.
So I think we'll be fine.
I hope
I'm
so.
going to regret that. Possibly.
I hope so.
Minute over. Minute's actually over as well. That's perfect. Right. Might cut that out. Might cut out the bits in between, but still. So yeah, Sarah, this weekend, Italy. You looking forward to that game?
Yeah, 100%. Italy are like the rising nation, I guess. Came second in the Six Nations last year. That's their best ever finish in the Six Nations. I think we were all quite surprised when they beat France, and it just shows that actually it's becoming a lot more competitive, which is a much better way for the game to be. And we relish those challenges. So we're under no illusion it's going to be a tough game. And I think the game against them in the Six Nations, the scoreline maybe flattered us a little bit. And they were not worth the 50 whatever points we put past them, and they definitely deserved to get on the scoreboard, but I think we just defended really well, so I think it'll be interesting. They've got some new faces in, we've got some new faces in, so it'd be interesting to see those girls finding their way and seeing how they compete against each other.
Yeah, of course. So Sarah, all that's really left to say is all the best this weekend, and
Thank you very
I'm sure we'll
much.
catch up again at some point in the future.
Cheers, thank you guys.
Anyway, yeah, so thank you very much to Sarah for her time there. Bit of to and fro with Chris getting in and out in front of the camera and myself.
I'm nowhere near as good as Sarah is in terms of punditry, in terms of fluency and answers. So I could be out on the job soon.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's not about you. I'm going to see what
The
I write.
Beckett's are putting pressure on us.
Charlie doing his podcast.
Mate, his column got over 100 likes or something, and
Yes.
numerous retweets. So yeah.
From people that are having their lunch right now.
Yeah, no.
Gosh. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but obviously England Red Roses are playing Italy at Bedford's Stadium, Goldington Road, on Saturday. By all accounts, it looks like it's going to be a great game.
It should be. I mean, you know, Sarah was talking about them being an up-and-coming nation. I know England beat them at Sandy Park in the Six Nations quite convincingly earlier this year. But it's a great way to finish, I think, for them this year. They've had such a great year, and I think a lot of focus would have been on those two games against France, which Sarah mentioned there, Joe, and to get 2 wins is a massive statement for this team. Because I know when you spoke to Jess Breach, before the first game against France, she was saying it's been a great year for them. They've been learning constantly, but you got the sense there was a shift now towards the World Cup in 2 years' time, and Mel Hunt just reiterated that point to us last week. So it's great that they had those 2 wins against France. I think the atmosphere on Saturday will be really, really good because of the success they've probably had. So yeah, should be an absolute cracker at Goldington Road, and if you're around the Bedford area and want to go watch a rugby, there's no better place to go and do that than Goldington Road.
And it's a lovely spot generally, Bedford. We're looking out of the
We
river.
look like we're in a library, but we're not.
We can't read. No, we can't.
No, I definitely can't.
Oh, right. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we've been up to this week. Yesterday, you were at Carrington.
I was at Carrington once again. Sam Diamond doing his brilliant work, seeing a couple of the World Cup stars, Faf de Klerk, Tom Curry, Mark Wilson was there as well, so great to catch up with all of them, and Steve Diamond as well, ahead of the European Champions Cup weekend for Sale.
Oh, La Rochelle, isn't it, at the AJ Bell?
La Rochelle, yes. So obviously Sale played them last season in the semi-finals in the Challenge Cup.
Yes, they did.
And so it will be a big one. Sale obviously losing narrowly to Glasgow last weekend, and Steve Diamond was saying that he's disappointed that he only got a bonus point, but he knows how crucial this game is, because if they don't get a result on Sunday, then they've got a mountain to climb, and they're going to get out of this group, which contains obviously Exeter, who won so brilliantly there last weekend.
Yeah, of course. I went to Birmingham Moseley Rugby Club to speak to a certain Manu Tuolangi.
Was he on form? He was great when we saw him in London before the World Cup.
He was good. He was chilled out. He was maybe a bit more, not personable, because that's the wrong way of putting it, but he was definitely a bit more engaged in Birmingham last night. He was very good. He spoke very well. Was asked quite a few difficult questions actually by some of the journalists around me. We didn't really talk about the whole rugby league aspect to it, because obviously there's rumours circulating about him going to rugby league after the Sonny Bill Williams signing for the Toronto Wolfpack. But yeah, no, he was in good form, and he was straight back in it with Tigers.
Signing for Birmingham Moseley anytime soon?
I mean, there's pictures. There's pictures out there. It'd be great if you did. I'd love it if you did. but it probably won't happen.
No, so you were saying, Joe, earlier, he's great on that sort of mentality behind his whole playing career, not just playing for England. So looking forward to seeing that piece when it's out either towards the end of this week or at the start of next week. So yeah, some big name interviews, Joe.
It's been a good week.
That's been a good week.
It maybe looked like a bit of a quiet week on the website, but more than anything,
We're just trying to build on.
doing things behind the scenes, mate. This is,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, the big story this week is that Saracens will not be appealing against the ruling for them to be fined £5.63 million and then also losing 35 points, which has put them on minus 22 points in the Premiership table. Chris, they've got Ospreys this weekend, and we saw last weekend they lost to Racing.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to prioritise the league now?
I think if the stories are to be believed, Joe, that Saracens will be holding their players back from playing in the Six Nations, I think they have to prioritise the league. I mean, you made a great point in the WhatsApp group that we've got on whenever it was announced this time last week, I think it was, or at the start of the week,
I think it was Monday, Tuesday, yeah.
That it's quite good for them that they've done it now and not made a song and dance about it and made it stretch into the new year, because now they know, right, these are the points we're on, this is the target we need to get. If we want to stay in the Premiership and get to potentially challenge for that top four and get into that top four to retain the trophy, it's a big uphill task, but they know what to do now. And I think last weekend they were poor. They were, I mean, as much as they've not got their stars back and they're struggling in terms of some of the key players coming back. They were really poor. They were outplayed by Racing, especially in that first half. So Mark McCall will be demanding a response from this group, and this group of players played so well at Gloucester 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, and it was the same squad essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So I did say to one of my mates, I said, they'll probably prioritise Europe again because of the Premiership, but after what's happened and it's been a quick sort of, right, let's get it done, I think the Premiership will be the key. And yeah, they'll obviously try and do the best in Europe, but if they want to try and get to that top four, they've got to start clawing those points back.
And of course, plenty more to come with Saracens as ever. Hopefully we're going to be down there.
Yes,
next Tuesday.
For the NCA, we're doing some work with Bold Albanian, so we're hoping to catch maybe the press conferences, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so as ever, plenty more to come on Talking Rugby Union on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and the website, of course. Even LinkedIn these days, which is pretty good.
And I was going to mention, Joe, the podcast now is on
Spotify. I did that the other day and forgot. Thank you for for reminding me. That was a stressful couple of days. But yeah, no, as ever, plenty more to come on Talking Rugby Union. We're going to crack on with some work now at the, what is this? Is it the Swan Hotel?
It's the Swan Hotel, it's lovely.
Which has got loads of pigeons on it.
Yeah, it's got loads of, and it's got obviously swans on the lake. Otherwise it wouldn't have.
It's a river, Chris.
Well, river, lake.
Chris didn't go to school.
Who's asked? But yeah, it's a really lovely place, and yeah, we're going to try and do some work. But Bedford's nice. Nando's around the corner. We love a Nando's, so maybe there.
St Albans Nando's on Tuesday.
Taking it off.
There's a good chance.
We need to get a white in the car, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.